WaRsRor here, and welcome back to another Cards and Castles video. It's been sort of a slow week here on the channel, so figured I should maybe slowly build things up back again, and what better way to do that than with a Cards.tv commentary. Now, there's been a lot of things going on recently. There's a lot of decks being tried out, and rightfully so. There hasn't been a set meta yet. So there's a lot of experimentation going on. You can see there's some pretty hefty variety if my Cards TV wants to actually activate. Okay, clicked on a random match. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe we'll actually do this match. Maybe. Well, if we can, I don't know. Anyway, we'll just be right back with the gameplay with the matches. So I guess now that I'm saying it, let's hop right in. So our first match will actually be the match that we tried to click on a little earlier. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm going to call you Wa versus Chelsea. Sounds good to me. Anyway, they both passed their turn 1, seeing as how they have nothing to throw out for their 1 gold turn. However, Wa throws out a Vicious Sunflower turn 2, which is immediately thrown into the battle with a Lumberjack and a Fear combination, which will push the Sunflower back. A little weakened, so Chelsea did get some draw there. Overall, though, it's too early to tell if that actually helped. Wa passes his turn 3, as you can see from his hand, not being able to really do much. Banshee will successfully trade with that Sunflower. The last will, of course, dealing the final blow. Chelsea takes an Arcfire. Don't know if she's running the Mages to get that extra 2 damage, making it 4. But Wa responds with a Salahar Voyager and Minotaur play. Very deadly turn 4 monster combination in these colors. If you're running Voyager, you might as well run Minotaur nowadays. Blue Firebolt onto the Minotaur. It takes 4 damage down to 3 health. Flamestorm as well kills the Voyager, but weakens the Minotaur, and that leaves the Minotaur actually open for an attack. And will he take that? Yes, he will, but not using the multi-strike, he'll use the Ajira instead to get some extra monsters to his hand. You see the Behemoth, which he'll probably immediately play, and he will do that, so that way he can benefit off the monsters that Chelsea now has in his hand. Manfish, though, from Chelsea, of course, given by the Ajira, will take out the Minotaur, and a Disintegrate takes out Ajira. So now was left with that 4/4 Behemoth with a Tarius Files from Chelsea coming in front of the tower as a body block. Serpent Witch, though, make that 2, coming out from Wa, which will run head first, hoping to maybe catch something off guard or open up the castle for an attack. Arcanon General, though, hits 1 Serpent Witch. Will get stunned, though, but Chelsea does draw 2 cards thanks to the Tarius' last will ability. Wa responds with Flux Dabes. Flux comes out bottom of the castle there. Serpent Witch takes a hit at the castle. It stuns it. And, of course, Flux hitting the stunned Arcanon. Dagger Storm combination there. Nimble Retreat gives his monsters gives his units, I should say, a bunch of movement just to move his Behemoth into a better position. He'll close his turn. Chelsea responds to the Northland's Ranger. Not much, but it does take out the Behemoth, that immediate big threat, which is good. It keeps Chelsea somewhat alive in the match. Multi-strike, though, from Flux will take out the Tarius Files. I meant to say Dabes there. He'll draw Vanish and Heal. We don't know what Chelsea drew. And the Battle Cry he got earlier will be used to push the Northland Ranger back. Castle gets hit. Fear and Ignition will be put into Wa's hand. The 2 Serpent Witches take strikes at the castle. Ignition going off. It'll damage the castle and the Ranger. And its rebound will actually finish off the Ranger and dealing additional castle damage. Vanish on the Flux to keep it safe, and that'll end Wa's turn. So this battle looks to be pretty much wrapped up in Wa's favor here. Headless Horseman hitting the castle, probably not what he wanted. Kaijir and Flame Shield as well. All very discounted, though, both of those cards very discounted. Tarius Files as some sort of last-minute block, but his side's really stunned. You can't do anything to defend against what might be coming here. The healing on the castle, just, punishing. Well, not really punishing, but it's sort of like, I am going to end this with more health than you, etc. Kraken comes out, deals the final blow, and that ends it in Wa's favor. So Monster's still very strong, as you can see by the color combinations. That Voyager Minotaur combo is what got Chelsea in the early game. He had no way to counter that, and it ended up working in Wa's favor here. He was able to push the Minotaur and follow that up with Behemothras and Serpent Witches, which would ultimately lead to his demise. So Monster is still a very strong archetype, and one that is kind of overlooked right now, but more powerful nonetheless. So with that being said, great match overall. Let's move on to match number 2. Our next match will feature Nats versus Drink. Nats, of course, starts the game off by passing his turn 1, so does Drink, so sort of the standard opening there sometimes. A Sun City Guard from Nats, though, will come out, put some early pressure on Drink. Not too much, though. If he takes 2 damage, not going to be the end of the world here, but Incinerate will help him repel that 2 damage from a Sun City Guard, trying to find the words there. Imp from Nats, as well as a slight push from the Hassan City Guard. Again, sort of same position as the previous turn. Bridge Troll, though, attempting to at least take out one of these 2 units, and a Manfish as further block to prevent castle damage. And, of course, that Bridge Troll effect blocking off any Lightning Blade possibilities. However, the Troll gets hit with the RNG, Manfish dies, Hassan City takes a chop at the castle, and Questing Knight comes out from Nats. So it's a very early aggression, very just overall aggressive deck, it seems like, from Nats. Salahar Spitefish coming out to kill off the Sun City Guard. Not a card that you see a lot, but it's an interesting card nonetheless. Fear, though, is going to push Spitefish back to not take any sort of gold reduction next turn. Hits the castle for 3. And, of course, Flux Dave comes out. Doesn't matter, though, if he can block the Salahar kill this turn. It's going to happen on Drink's turn, of course. Now, Nats is going to have only 4 gold to work with, and the Salahar Spitefish killing off the knight and weakening the castle further. Imp comes out to block. However, Flux is going to probably take a shot at that nonetheless. He'll get Battering Ram and Risky Business into his hand. The Gravestalker as well coming out to only further push the aggression that Nats has. Wraith from Drink, though, that's a steady health unit, so it does take out the Flux. Forbidden Scroll Winds the North into Nats' hand. Winds the North could probably be, he's going to be used here, so Wraith gets pushed upward, opening the castle for the Gravestalker to take a shot at, and the zombies, of course, push up. And the Frost Giant for the extra punishment there. He can't really use that Wraith this turn as it is frozen. So it looks like Nat's setting up his win here. However, Swordsman from Drink takes out the Gravestalker, both zombies, and severely weakens the Frost Giant. That's kind of what Drink needed here to somewhat save himself. However, the Battering Ram going on the Frost Giant, it'll do 6 damage this turn. Will he use the Lightning Blade? He will. That becomes a 6-5 now. As you can see, the damage just going to pile on here eventually for the win. So, of course, that very aggressive deck we saw from Nats kind of did push all the way through. I think really what changed the match, though, was Wind to the North. It's a sleeper card, I think, in my opinion, because when you push something upwards, when you're messing with positioning in general, it's going to kind of end up being, well, of course, favored toward you, if that kind of makes sense. That's a little wordy here, but, with positioning and how everything is placed on the board nowadays, even the slightest movement can be catastrophic for you via, a chain lightning could occur, your castle could be open. There's so many things that could happen with just a slight movement, and that Winds was definitely what shifted the tide. If it wasn't in Nats' favor already, the Winds sort of solidified that. So, a good aggression from Nats and a strong use of the Winds card to your advantage to close out a game. So that was pretty good, fun one to watch. But let's move on to our final match and see what happened. For our final matchup here, we have SegFaulty taking on Windman. Seg utilizing a Druid Pirate deck, one that's not too often seen. He starts out with a Lumberjack for his first turn. Windman responds with a Manfish, so we can see that Windman's utilizing, the monsters. Vicious Sunflower, though, from Seg. He'll use that to body block his castle, move the Lumberjack back to retreat a little bit. And what will Windman do? He'll weaken the Sunflower. I think he's hoping to get a kill off on it before it gets any closer to his castle. The Flower will trade with the Manfish there. He'll use Call Beast as well to summon a Wolf. So the Wolf does push a little bit, but Windman's got that card advantage. You see a Kaiju come out from Windman, so he's sort of, he's sort of pushing the advantage here. I was trying to think of another word to say that, but it's sort of the same thing. You're pushing the advantage that you have with the card. And we see again the Salahar Minotaur combination on turn 4. Brutal combination. Forest Watcher, though, coming out from Seg. He'll weaken Minotaur, Kaiju. Kaiju will actually be killed off by the Wolf. The Voyager gets killed off by Titan's Initiative, and the Minotaur is successfully blocked off. However, Murder on the Forest Watcher will open up Minotaur to strike the castle for 6, and that's a big chunk out of Seg's castle. How will he respond, though? He'll attack with the Lumberjack to kill it off, get the draw. I think that's what he was going to hope for. Bestial Rage. Not going to do much though, because that Minotaur is still going to be kept alive, and that's going to do some serious damage. I think he was hoping for that +1/+1, unaware that Centaur was not a beast. So Minotaur takes out another 6 health off the castle, and Seg's in trouble here. There's not much really he can do. He attempts to block off his castle in some sort of effort. Dwarven Scopes on the Spiny will kill off the very weakened Minotaur. However, there's another one coming in to the face. Mercenary Execution on the Spiny, so it's sort of depleting him of any options he's got here. And we can see 2 health on SegFaulty's castle. Mordock, though, from Seg, I think he needs a good draw here. He doesn't need the Wraith. He does get the Wraith, though, and that's going to unfortunately end the game. That was not the RNG pull he was looking for. Headless or Banshee would have done. Wraith was just too weak to get the job done. So ultimately, Windman does pick up this win due to the card advantage he was able to get early on. We saw that Seg couldn't really keep up, and ultimately led to his downfall. It's a shame, really, because green-white is a very cool and unique faction combination that hasn't really been explored a lot. You have things like Scope, Companion, the Afro Tree. There's a lot of things that I think are yet to be touched on by other players, and I think when they do mix together, we'll find some pretty interesting and pretty crazy combinations. But overall, a good match from Seg and Win, and good job, Windman, for picking up the victory. So, with that being said, let's move on into, I guess, the outro. Let's close out this video. And yes, with that being said, guys, that is going to close the video for today. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like on the video, share it with your friends, and comment down below what you thought of today's matches. Hopefully this is, you know, something that could tide you guys over. Hopefully I'm getting to more other videos soon, but it's been a busy week over here, so trying to get things under control. So yeah, if you guys aren't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. Show your support to the channel just by clicking that subscribe button. Showing your support, helping us grow, again, just by clicking that subscribe button. I said it 3 times, I think, in the past 5 seconds. Anyway, guys, until next time, stay gaming.